Hi, I'm Willie, graduated in 2008 from Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Currently the co-founder of Netizen Experience. Okay, so basically what happened after graduation, I think I was in Toyota for close to 4 years, working as a supply chain management sort of executive. Back in 2012, me and two other friends decided to build a remote usability testing platform. So that's how netizentesting.com was started back in 2012. Almost immediately we realized that the website, at least this part of the world, we are not ready to embrace a self-service usability testing platform. The other thing is user experience as a subject is still rather new in this part of the world. So we spent probably the first 2-3 years doing a lot of education. From there, we slowly, I would say, pivoted a bit based on the feedback we get. Eventually, from a usability testing platform, we evolved into an end-to-end user experience research house. Along the way, we also added in the capability to do development, because our client always say, you come and tell me all this problem, but can you solve it for me? So we started doing development as well, helping them to build those platforms, helping them to build their digital services. Probably around 3-4 years ago, we started analytics because that's where things are going. So with analytics, it tells you where people are doing, or what people are doing on the website, where they go, what they click on, but it will never tell you the why. That's where usability testing or some other user research method will come in and fill in the why. And well, for certain clients, we help them to build their platform. So at the end of the day, our goal is to become the leading user research firm with the capability to provide them an end-to-end solution in this part of the world. 20 years ago, Malacca is very different from where we are now. Still remember there's the only thing you can do, not to say the only thing, you spend most of the time in campus. There's a lot of campus activities. There's a lot of, it's a very vibrant campus. So instead of going to class, assignment, exams, you have other alternatives. You get to join club and society events. Sometimes, well, at first you join the event, eventually you started organizing event. I think all those things help, and not just getting you out of the faculty that you actually study in. You also make friends from different faculty, so that helps along the way, because one thing I noticed, if you go into FET, for the next 4 years, you mix with people from the same faculty. When you come out, you end up speaking the same jargon. You think this is the world. But once you start talking to someone else not from the same industry, you'll be like, even though both of you speak the same language, you'll be like, what is going on? I don't understand that person. So things like this, you may not realize it. To you, 4 years, I speak this language in my university. Why? Because you only mix with your same peers and stuff. But you realize that when you talk to different faculty, the jargons are different, the lingo are different, the way people communicate are different. Same meaning, the same word may bring a different set of meaning. So all these things, when you mix with different faculty, which was happening back at Mmu, I think that helps, and that part of, I don't think, I guess that's that part of soft skill. If you ask me what's the most meaningful thing that happened in Mmu, I guess is FET, besides the faculty. I think we had a lot of chance to explore different things with student activities. I appreciate whoever who was in STAT at the time. Who is it still called Student Affairs?
Yes.
It's still, yeah. Whoever who runs Student Affairs in Malacca back then. The freedom were given to the student. You can do whatever you want. When I say whatever, well, there are still certain limits, but the freedom that is given is there, and I guess that is the first step into experimenting different events, different sort of mixing with different sort of people. that's when you realize that if someone is interested in something, it's not about the money. They will work hard, they will work towards a goal. The same balance have to be achieved. Why? Because everyone is volunteering. You can't, you can't go in and do whatever you want and then get the results you want. You really have to work, understand their needs, understand different people's viewpoint of things. What is that word called? You need to get that consensus before you move forward with things when you run activities, because everyone in a way is volunteering. Yeah, if you look at the events that MMU students run, I don't know today, back then, I think there are so many international level events where they bring in overseas participants as well for some of the debate competition, this and that. So when you run all these events, you pick up certain skill set that you don't learn. I think that sets them apart because, well, at least from what we are doing in the field of user experience, what we realize is that when we talk to our client, a lot of time we are like the peacemaker, we are like the in-betweens. They have their own, even though they work in the same company, you have your marketing department, cannot talk to the IT department because, not because they don't understand each other, not because they are enemy to each other, it's simply because both of them are stuck in their own world, they speak their own language, they can't breach that. So one of the very important skills, I guess, is that you need to be able to speak like a human, not like a robot, speak like a human, that people can understand you. So that is what I see when you get MMU students or students in general when they join student activities. Career-wise, some people will will set down their goals. This is what I want to become immediately, even before they enter university. For my case, I think started off at engineering. I realized that I enjoy some of the subject, but not all of it. So halfway through, probably during my internship, I realized that nope, I'm not going to be an engineer. So that's when I needed to plot a path forward. So you cannot be. So when you stop being an engineer, the next closest thing to do is to get near the engine. Flip around near the engine. So I worked in Toyota for 4 years, supply chain management. Gave me a new, I wouldn't say it's a complete change, because even in engineering, I think there's a subject that is more on planning resources, supply chain management, somewhat related. Went in there. Along the way, figure out that there's a chance to do something different, start my own firm with 2 other partners. So we decided to do it. Even the last 10 years as a company, we have to pivot, see what is the market, what is going on out there, pivot. I guess with the career, it's the same thing. You cannot not all careers are fixed from the day you enter university. That's how I'm going to put it. Why? Because if you become a pilot, sure, you're a pilot, yeah. But if you take up engineering, if you know the fundamental wells, I guess things evolve. Looking back 2003, when I entered engineering, the course was what? Electronics, engineering, majoring robotics and automation. The way robotics is imagined 20 years ago and 20 years later is very different. Same with a person's career, it will change. Back when we started the firm in 2013, we were looking for someone with experience in user experience. The field of user experience is a fairly new field, so you probably don't have a lot of people doing it in Malaysia, or at least this part of the world. When that happened, obviously, even until today, we are talking about what, 8-9 years down the road, there's still no degree called degree in user experience. Same thing with mobile app development. Mobile app probably started when smartphone came out back in what, 2008, 2009? No one knows. Okay, if you want to talk about degree, there's no such thing as degree in mobile app development until what, 5 years, 8 years down the road. Even that is not common. So what I'm saying is that university, or when you study, it gives you a baseline of what it is. When you come out, you still have to plot your path forward. You need to be open for different sort of challenges, you need to pick up different skill set, you need to learn new things. So don't get too fixated, especially in the pandemic coming out. I believe there's still a lot of jobs out there. For example, just give you an example, we were trying to hire someone, we couldn't get anyone. We have been hiring yes, we get a lot more applicants, a lot more meaning 5 times more than usual right now. The last 2-3 times we posted, we get easily 5 times more applicants. But we still couldn't get the right people. Sometimes it's the mindset, sometimes they just don't pay enough attention, I guess. Even though we are getting 5 times more applicants, we are not getting. You immediately can tell the one that put in effort and the one that don't put in effort. And the one that put in effort will go and study the field, because like I said, user experience executive is a new role, at least in this part of the world. It's not a common role. So we actually get applicants that apply, usually from the day they apply until the day they get interviewed. You easily have a week sort of window. And during that week, they even went up to all these online platforms and started learning things about user experience. And by the time they reach the interview, you know that this person spent time applying, researching, and coming for the interview. We don't live in an ideal world. We need to fill in our gaps here and there. When I say gaps, meaning, say if you haven't found a job right now, or you lose your job during a pandemic, we are considered pretty lucky because we have a lot of alternative. When I say alternative, meaning you can go and drive a Grab driver, you can do a delivery in between. All these options were not an option 15, 20 years ago. I still remember, way back, that if you come out from university, if you don't get a job, you don't have one unless there's very limited choice. That's how I want to put it. So you have all these things like consider freelancing, gig economy. So that will fill up that gap while you look for something. I guess that's the 2 things that a fresh grad can look at. Whether the world will settle down, well, we are in our 4th wave, even though not everyone is going to agree this is the 4th wave. We are in our 4th wave. This thing won't go away. It will be here for at least another few years. Even if this thing goes away, with the pandemic, even if COVID goes away, it's hard to erase that memory of the last 12 months, how we go into a lockdown, come out, lockdown, come out. It will stay in our mind. It will be messy for a while. So we just have to get used to this and adapt and move on. You can't just say, I'm going to wait till COVID goes away, then I start plotting my career path. Nope. No. The world doesn't stop. You need to keep moving forward, adapt, and yeah, that's how I put it.